I have created a photo story to show everything I have learned during my technology in the classroom class. This photo story is specific to a project that I would make for my class. So I believe in giving students lots of options. So this photo story is going to be showing how I can use all these different websites in order to create a project for my class. Since language is one of my teachables, I wanted to show how I could use this in a literacy classroom. So I would use the book Lord of the Flies, and during the unit I would have ways of using these different websites to help enrich the unit, but I would also use some of these websites as a culminating task as well. Google Drive is an excellent way to check how students are doing throughout their project. I've even created some Lord of the Flies lessons on my Google Drive recently, and they're great ways to just have a portfolio of the students' work. You can see it online, and that way your students can store all of their information online, and they'll never have to be on their home computer to access their files. They can access them anywhere on the internet as long as they have Wi-Fi or internet access. Another thing I've done here is I've created my own class blog called Miss Kelly's Class. And after every lesson, as you can see, the students would have to post something they've learned throughout the day. On the specific blogs, there's actually a specified task for them to do. But if you click into it, then the students will know what they're supposed to do, and the teacher and other students can reply to their blog postings. This is a quiz I created on Google Form associated with Google Drive. I would have this before the class, so when the students come in, they would see this on the PowerPoint or on the smartboard, and they would have a chance to take out their personal device or use one of the laptops in the classroom to answer their knowledge about the textbook or the Lord of the Flies reading that they had done the night before. So what would happen is they would all take the quiz, and then I would post the results. I would let everyone know that they're anonymous so they wouldn't feel the pressure to get them right or wrong. And then I'd show the answers on the board, and gauging by the number of students that did the reading, I would know how well the lesson was going to go. And the questions are pretty straightforward. As long as you've done the reading, you can answer them. So it's an easy way to gauge what students know before they are entering the lesson. Blendspace is something new I've just discovered thanks to our class. It's where you can put all your lessons online, and there's different videos, different websites. They're just on a large space called Blendspace, where you can have them and you can access them and show them to your students in one spot. So this would be a great way to organize my Lord of the Fly lessons. As a teacher, I can use that, and students can even use this as well to access all the files after the class is ended. During this technology in the classroom course, I did learn a lot about the smartboard, so I could use the smartboard a lot during my lessons to get the students integrated, to maybe put pictures up or crop different things. And the main thing is to remember the SAMR model. So I'm really trying to make the lesson better, not just add things to it to give it a little bit of a technology add to it. I'm trying to really vamp up the lesson and make it as integrative for students as possible. As a review for the students before a test or before a quiz for Lord of the Flies, I could create a Jeopardy game. So I found this online template from our Technology in the Classroom course, and it shows you how you can make a Jeopardy game online, which is great because I've always used bulletin boards and envelopes, and it's taken me hours to make Jeopardy games before by hand. So this was definitely something really, really exciting that I learned. So just getting the students involved on a little bit of a competitive nature and having them test their knowledge with a Jeopardy game for Lord of the Flies. Now, what I've learned from all my teaching courses is that giving the students a test is not the best way to gauge their knowledge from what they've learned from the unit. So, in using things I've learned from this Technology in the Classroom course, I would like to give the students an enriching and engaging culminating task that will truly show what they have learned and will get them very engaged, and they'll have a ton of fun doing it. So, using some of the websites and some of the sites we've been shown, I'm going to try and devise certain culminating tasks that would be great for after Lord of the Flies. So something we have had practice with is the Common Craft video. So for Lord of the Flies, I could ask the students to remake their favorite chapter of Lord of the Flies. They would have to make a Common Craft video on their own or with a partner by getting different pictures or different characters, and they could record the video, and that would be their culminating task, to remake an entire scene. Or they could remake a theme of the novel that was most important to them. This is a way that you will see what the students have learned, and then they will be able to use their media and literacy skills, which is definitely a great part of the multimodal literacy focus that all schools are so engaged with right now. Another thing that students could do is create a Twitter account for one of the characters in the novel. So they would be Ralph or Piggy or Jack, and every single chapter in the novel, they would have to make their 140 character Twitter posts. And this would be like a reflective journal throughout the Lord of the Flies novel as that character. So this is again media literacy, and it's taking something that students use on an everyday life and really getting into the mind of their character and thinking about making a concise paragraph, as it's 140 characters, and really just getting into the mind of that character. And this would be a good culminating task. It would focus on their writing, and it would focus on really the point of view from a character, which is definitely in the curriculum expectations. This is the Read Write Think. It's a part of the trading cards, which we were taught about, how to make trading cards. So I think this would be a really good culminating task for a student that is more art focused. They really like the arts. So what I was suggesting for this is that the students would take maybe 7 characters from the novel, and they would make a trading card for each of the characters. So for Piggy, they could think about his strengths. Well, he's very wise, and they could think about that and then make a trading card, and they could print it off, and they could make a whole set for the characters in the novel. So this would focus on their literacy skills as well as their art skills, and it's again media literacy because they would be doing it online. Something I was very excited about during this Technology in the Classroom course was how to make a spreadsheet and turn that spreadsheet into a graph, because my previous experience has just given me this picture, this result, with no labels, no titles, or anything. So for a culminating task for the students, they could go around and do surveys within their classroom about which character they liked the most, which character they felt they were like the most, different just questions about the novel, and come up and make it into a graph, and then use the Google spreadsheet section to produce all these graphs. And they could have different questions, and this is also connecting to the math curriculum of data management and probability. So this is a great cross-curricular project, and it's also using the Google Drive, which of course you can make the spreadsheets on as well. With Google Map Maker, I was thinking that the students could make some sort of map of the island where Lord of the Flies takes place, and they could use all the different symbols and everything that they find on the Map Maker website, and they could just make a large project of the island and how everything, where all the different parts on the island would be, and they would use this by getting information from the novel, and they would translate this onto a map. Now this isn't a large culminating task. I would probably pair this with something else, maybe the next picture that I'm about to show you. So this one could go with the map maker because the students could find different pictures around the world where they think Lord of the Flies, the island, may have been. Now different parts in the novel give reference to the war and things that are going on, so it could give you hints of where the island may be. But the students, it's really up to them. It's their creativity. They can find an island that they think would represent Lord of the Flies, and they could make some sort of even slideshow, or they could print the pictures or make a PowerPoint about the island where the boys were. So they could show different pictures and say, this is where Piggy fell off the cliff, this is where the water was, this is where the huts would have been built. So this is a really good online photo source where they could just create their own island, and then they would be able to present it in an oral communication project. So, in conclusion, this picture just sums up my feelings about how ready I am to use technology in the classroom and how beneficial I think it is for students. If you teach them how to use it, just as you taught us how to use it, they will feel confident and they will feel that they are getting a lot of meaning out of all of the projects they are going to be doing. And I think that every single teacher in the education program should take this course, because I feel so much more ready to take on every subject and to take on projects and to really try and engage the students, because we are living in a technologically savvy world. So I am ready with the tools that I have been given, and I hope to use them really soon in my next placement. So thanks very much. Hope you enjoyed the show.